own space and process your thoughts and think. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know, I can't just be in somebody's face all the time. So that's my thoughts on cohabitation. So that just doesn't work for me. However, in terms of back to what we're talking about in terms of men being afraid to commit, I don't think. Like I said, I think it all boils down to what station that man is in his life. I mean, as men, we're taught to be providers. You know what I mean? And some men I know will have a reluctance to commit. And I'd rather use the term reluctance as opposed to fear and being afraid. But I want society to replace the word fear and being afraid, men being afraid to commit, with reluctance. Because reluctance says, to me, that states that, okay, there's a reason behind it. It's not some irrational fear.
Good point, man. Because
there's a reason.
If you find that right woman, man, you know, if you find that woman, like, you're like, you know what? I'm going to give her everything I got. You're going to commit. You're going to do it. You're going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Let me ask you this question, though.
You did it.
Let me ask you this question. How do you find that right woman if you're not willing to take that extra step?
What's that extra step?
That extra step is either moving in together or setting the groundwork where you guys can say to yourself, like, listen, we share bills, so I understand either you leave the toilet seat up.
I don't think that has any bearing on whether or not a person is right for you or not. I think when people are dating, right, cohabitation is something that, you know, to me, yes, it allows you to see the person in that kind of a environment where you're living together. But I think before you even get to that point, you should have already kind of like had an idea in your mind, like, you know, this is somebody that you really want to be with. I don't think generally people would just live with somebody they're just kind of pussyfooting around with. You know what I'm saying? And if the person does it, I don't know. I think that's asking for trouble.
I agree with what Victor is saying, but I think it makes it tougher because, like he was saying, he's at a point in his life where he's kind of set in his ways. So he may want things a certain way. He doesn't want to have to check in. Like, he wants to be able to come home and just do whatever it is and not have to worry about, well, is my woman going to nag me about this? Or what about this? Or are we going grocery shopping? Because maybe he feels, well, I don't want to go grocery shopping today. I just want to come home, sit on my couch, watch TV. But with the woman there, it's like, well, are we going to do this? Are we going to do that? Well, what about this? Well, we're supposed to go to this. And you being single, it's like, well, I don't have to worry about that. You're more carefree. But I think it becomes tough because the older you get, the more set in your ways you become. So once you get to like 40 and up, it's like you don't even want to be bothered. But it's hard because you may find that woman who you want to be with, and she wants to be with you, but that little piece of you is kind of keeping you away because you've been you for so long. Are you willing to share and come as one?
I can't say I agree with that because I feel. And this goes back to me saying it depends on what station that person is in their life, that station that man is in life. When he reaches a point where he says, you know what, I'm ready for a significant other, I'm ready for me, and I feel like I want to have somebody there by my side, I think at that point he'll be willing to open himself up to having someone there all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because you're at that point now, you're like, you want that. That's what you want. But up until that point, you may not necessarily want to be around someone all the time. You may want your own space or whatever. But when you get to a stage where you're like, you know what, I'm ready to have somebody with me all the time. I'm ready to come home to somebody every day. I'm ready for that. And it wouldn't be a problem.
But could you be like that at 21 or 22?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. It depends. It really depends on the individual. Because there's 21-year-olds that are married. There's 22-year-olds that get married. 25-year-olds. You know, it really depends on the individual. I mean, generally speaking,
I think for men it should be, you know, late 20s, early 30s, man. Before
you can't
into some.
Like, you can't put a time period on that, man.
Women, in your early 20s, man, you want to go talk to everybody. You want to get to know everybody.
You can't put a time limit on that, man.
But I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I think exploring is definitely crucial.
It is.
I think it's definitely crucial. I mean, look, we all young and we all get infatuated or feel we're in love or maybe even be in love, you know, at a young age or whatever the case is, man. But you haven't tasted life yet. You haven't lived life yet. You know what I'm saying?
Have babies and all.
You know what I mean? And you're going to take some responsibility when you're. I'm not saying it doesn't work for some people, but I mean, I think it's important for people to kind of live their life. And by live their life, I'm not encouraging reckless behavior and going out there and all willy-nilly and wilding out. But I mean, just, finding yourself, finding what you like. I mean, at 21, I don't think you've ran into enough people to know for sure what you will be willing to tolerate and deal with, and what,
And that's what kind of screws it all up, because I know people personally who got married at 19, 20, 21, and here they are 10 plus years into their marriage and they're not happy because they never got a chance to, like you said, explore, travel, meet people, do things. And then all of a sudden they get stuck in this rut where it's like, damn, I'm 33, I'm still young, or 34, I'm still young. I've been with this woman 14 years, we got 3 kids, and it's like, damn.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's kind of hard to break away, but at the same time, it's like you don't want to wait till you're 40 years old, because at that point it's like.
But let's look at the whole.
That long, but at 21, I mean, you're just learning about yourself.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You're still. I mean, in the United States, I mean, at 21, your legal drinking age is 21. You know what I mean? Like,
so that's when
you're legally admitted to clubs and establishments that serve alcohol. I mean, you're still coming to. I remember when I was 21, like, I mean, I hadn't even begun life yet. A young adult life. You know what I mean? I mean, so to get married, to fathom getting married at that age, I can't even see it.
But you know what? The thing is for each individual, man, because certain people, they feel like they're in a situation where they want to get married. But, like, let's get back to the whole idea of kind of what they say, whether drinking the milk before you test the cow, whatever it is. Whatever it is. But the whole concept is like this. Like, hey, to me, personally, I need to live with that individual. Because if I don't, if she doesn't put the toilet seat down or whatever she doesn't do, I don't want to surprise this guy. I just can't do it.
I mean, check it, right?
I can't do it.
But hold on, nobody's saying get married to the person and then, like, listen, let me tell you something. If you're with somebody and you don't know those habits beforehand, then you're not doing your job already.
I totally disagree. I totally disagree.
You have to go to your girl house and check.
You don't have to live with a person to find out these things.
Yep.
I think if you're dating someone, right, more than likely you're going to be spending nights over the crib.
Yeah.
You're going to be spending night. Hold on. You're going to be spending night. I'm not talking about you meet somebody and, you just, you go over there 3 times during the year and spend the night 3 times a year. If you're with somebody that you're dating, you're going to be spending a lot of time with them at their place. They're going to be spending a lot of time at your place. You have enough information or enough time spent with that person to see what their habits are.
Yeah.
You go to their house. I mean, initially after meeting someone, they're going to be on their best behavior.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're going to make sure the house is clean all the time. They're doing all this stuff. But after a while, that you get comfortable. They're going to let their guard down. They're going to let more of their true selves come out. So, with that said, you, after being with someone for a year, 2, 3 years, you should know them. So you don't have to live with them for you to know these things about them.
So let me ask you gentlemen a question. Say, for instance, you go to a woman's house, right?
You're getting off topic, but go ahead.
She you go to her house, she throw all the dirty laundry onto the bed. Throw all her dirty laundry in the closet.
It's going to be no relationship, man.
No, but you're not going to know that. You were not going to know that. Because you would never, ever go in her closet or look on her bed.
Let me tell you something, bro. Again, if you're talking about somebody you just dated for 3 months.
No, we're talking about somebody you've dated for like a year and a half.
Then how you know that? You should know that. There's no way in hell you
So you're telling me you would go in her closet?
Bro, let me tell you something.
But you should know that's what she does. Let me tell you, you're around her so much.
Why wouldn't you go in their closet? Because I'm sure if you're dating this person for a year and a half, you're spending nights, you're going to be putting clothes in her closet.
All right, so let me ask you a question.
For you to go to work the next day with.
So let me ask you a question.
You're going to have your own clothes there in her drawers, in her closet, your shoes. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Now, she comes to your house, Victor.
Yep.
Is she allowed to go in your closet?
Is she allowed to go in my closet? Look, if we're involved in that
you're kind of low right now, B.
No. If we're involved in that, if we're involved in that kind of relationship where, it's progressed to that point where she's, my girlfriend. We're committed together, right? Then yes, she can go into. Then we can definitely. She can go into my closet. That's not a problem.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, here's a space. You can put up your stuff too. Why wouldn't I? If we're dealing with each other for that long and we're committed, why wouldn't I?
All right, I got 2 points.
Yep.
First, I think, to me, it's vital you live together first before you take the next step. And I'll tell you why. Because you gotta know whether she's clean or not. Because even if you've been dating for a year, you come over her house, she's always gonna put her guard up for you. You're not gonna know how clean she is. You're not gonna know how much she cooks or whether she'll cook. You're not gonna know how she is with money. A lot of things you're not gonna know by just coming over and spending a night or two here and there at our house.
Bro, let me tell you something. Let Core finish.
And one more point. I think it all depends on the generation, because back in the 60s and 70s, there were people who were high school sweethearts and are still together now. And this day and age, I mean, think about it. Are any of us with any girls you're with in high school? No, I'm not. You're not. I just think it all depends on the generation.
Alright, so check this, right? I strongly disagree with what you just said, bro.
The reason I
strongly
I'm looking at that look, I'm like,
nah.
I strongly disagree. So hold on. Let me just address this real quick, right? I think you don't need, if you're dating somebody, right, and you get serious to that point, if you can't pick up on certain things from spending time with them, then you have a problem. I mean, for you, I'm not saying, like, again, I'm not knocking anybody that does cohabitation. That's all. More power to you. That works for you. That's fine. I don't have any issues with anybody doing that. You know what I'm saying? For me, it just doesn't work. I can't see it for myself. But, I mean, what you're saying, where you feel like you have to live with someone for us to learn things about them and see things about them.
But you don't want no surprises when you get
married. But if you're dating somebody, you're not going to be spending one night every 3 months.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
I think cohabitation happens haphazardly a lot of the times. A lot of the times people just happen to be like, you know what, I'm here all the time. They just end up living there.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't think it's something that's really planned out.
Some people do plan it. I think if you're spending time, like, you're going to be spending weekends over there, she's going to be spending weekends with you. You know, 3, 4, you may stay over there 4 nights, 5 nights out of a week. You know what I'm saying?
But then at that point, why not just live together? If you're spending 5 nights out the week,
I mean,
then
you know, whatever works for the person. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying, to your point that, you know, you need to live with someone to learn about them, I disagree with that. I don't think you need to live with them. I think, depending on the amount of time that you spend with this individual, you can learn about their habits, about things about them, you know, things about themselves you may not like, just from your interaction with them on their home turf. They're not going to always put up that facade for the entire time of the relationship.
So you've never heard of the saying, you never know someone until you live with them? So you think...
But I think we're getting off subject, though. I think we're getting off subject.
Yeah, we are getting off subject. So let's get back to the commitment thing, man. So the topic is, are men afraid to commit? I mean, like I said, I don't think men are afraid to commit. I think it just depends on where they're at in life. You know, whether they're at a point in life where they want to commit, or whether they still have things that they want to do or achieve for themselves.
Do you think women make it hard for them to want to commit? Do you think it's women who maybe set the bar too high, or women who are just kind of pains in the ass?
I don't know what you mean by set the bar too high.
Like for instance, okay, all right, set like women who are picky. Like you can date a woman, but it's like you're never good enough. And they just feel, well, bump it. I mean, I'll just go and just do my thing and that's it. Like, you know, some women set that bar too high for men to say, well, damn, like, I mean, do I really want to deal with this headache? Do I really want to commit myself to this headache?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I still don't. I mean, as far as women setting the bar too high, I mean, I don't really necessarily believe that. If anything, I think most women set the bar too low. Oh. I think, if anything, women should raise their standards. You know what I mean? I don't think women's bars are too high, and I think the reason why maybe commitment levels are so low, in addition to men being at different points in their life. I mean, because look at it. I mean, women reach that point of commitment a little bit earlier than men. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you may have two 23-year-old or 25-year-old men and women. The woman might be ready to commit, and the guy's like, yo, I'm not there yet. You know what I'm saying? Because he's just not there yet. It's like a woman, you know, they know
from biology and from general information that look, your prime baby making years are between 20 this and